Testing 1, 2, 3. We are live on the CPA-fol podcast. It's been a couple weeks, but this is going to be a crazy one. I feel like, so I made this live stream, thumbnail, all that wonderful stuff, whether this would have been last night, and then posted this and all that great jazz. But I feel like between the time of me posting it and this very moment with all of you today, it seems like a lot has happened in regards to the $1,000 Death Star. Like, I know for a fact I have nothing to do with it. I just know that with every day that we get closer to this thing being revealed, which I would guess would be, I mean, what, early September? It's got to be early September. I feel like that's just kind of the given with how these things normally go. I'm going to scoot this camera over just a wee bit. There we go. But just in the last, 10 hours, maybe even less than 10 hours, there's been a lot of news that has come out. And I know I don't normally cover news, cover leaks, if you want to call it. Is this a leak? I don't want to. I'm not a leak channel anymore. Right? I kind of moved on from that a while ago, but I feel like a $1,000 Lego set is just too much to talk about without bringing some kind of attention to, without talking about, because I also want to hear your thoughts as well, because going into this whole thing, we've got, in the last, just to do a quick summary, in the last 10 hours, I feel like we've gotten almost full minifig list. So that's one thing we're going to talk about. We're going to go through the minifigs, try to figure out character groups, if you will, because I think knowing the minifigs, we can kind of tell which movie they're trying to replicate, and then even which scenes they're trying to replicate, because certain characters in A New Hope were only in certain scenes. So doing that is going to be a huge help, being able to break those down. So I'm very excited about that. And then just kind of the big thing, which many of you will have kind of gathered at this point by just clicking on the thumbnail at all, knowing when you hear $1,000 Death Star, what do you think? You think a giant ball, a giant sphere. I would imagine you would expect to get a giant sphere with spending $1,000. Would that be reasonable? I feel like that would be reasonable. That being said, and especially based on my thumbnail, the latest rumor is, I should preface this by saying this is not a new rumor. This has been around for a while. Actually, I first heard this in full at Brickworld Chicago. So this is kind of like outside the normal circles that I normally talk in. And so I thought that was even more interesting that I was hearing this from just someone like completely unrelated to the normal channels where I normally, I'll normally hear a thing or two. It's not going to be a sphere. It's not going to be a circle. It's going to be a box. Why would we be getting a box? Now, that could be wrong. A box could 110% be wrong. It might not be a box. But that's what I heard. So the thumbnail is literally just a shadow box. I took the Batman shadow box and kind of doctored it up to be more like potentially what it might look like, even to the heights and stuff, just based on what we've heard this morning. So it's really interesting. It's kind of a tragedy in many respects, because I think Lego making a giant sphere for us for $1,000. Remember that, $1,000. And I think I might even pull up the old one. I was looking it up yesterday because of it was 10291. No, it was 10 something. 10143. So I was looking up Here, let me. We'll start digging into things. I haven't even said hi to anyone. How rude of me. Before I pull up chat and stuff, make sure you do a little liking of the stream. I know a lot of you have, but there's still a couple people out there that need to like the stream. Subscribe if you're new here. We're gonna talk about Star Wars. I feel like I've been talking about Star Wars a lot lately, but at my core, my first Lego love was 110% Star Wars. So I will always want the best and brightest for Star Wars. That has always been true. Lately, of course, I haven't been talking about it much, but I feel like especially with this set coming in just over 2 months, we got to talk about it. I have to talk about it. With that being said, let me pull up Brick Set. Got to do some rearranging real quick. I don't know, before Brick Set. Let's see what the chat. Yeah, they're not leaks. We're covering rumors. And then I even got to say before that, I pulled up a ghost. I gotta have a ghost. Gotta have a refreshment for this stream today. This is gonna be tough. And then of course, is it brought to you by? Well, sponsored by the Brick Connection. This week's episode, so you'll be seeing that throughout the episode. He doesn't even know it. That's the case. Yes. Yeah. Brick Thesis says, let's discuss the Shadowbox V2. Yeah, I mean, pretty much that's what we're going to be getting into. The figures, we'll be getting into the figures. I will not be showing pictures. I know that you all can find pictures of them yourself. I won't be putting them up on screen. I mean, are the pictures available? I don't know. What's up, Sam? How's it going? Oh, obviously, Liam Brick the Bed, first channel member to pop up. How did this go from a sphere into a rectangle? I mean, I can only guess, other than the fact that it was always, obviously it was always supposed to be that, but it's always interesting what we hear through the channels of how did these things evolve? What did people actually see to start these rumors is kind of something that I'm usually most interested in. So that's always interesting to think about. Fabu Brick, yeah. Don't use my own words against me. Oh, Papa Rex is me to a T, because I don't know if you could ever catch me buying a $1,000 Lego set that is a big gray ball in kind of the initial rumor mill or thought process. But regardless, like I'm not spending $1,000 on a big gray ball. So that's where I'm at with it. Another channel member, by the way. Thanks, Papa Rex. Appreciate it as always. Padawan HQ, boys. Boy, I imagine that being a distressful, like, boys. But, yeah, hearing everyone's thoughts. Once we finally see pictures, and I'm low-key kind of fingers crossed hoping, because as you know, we found out more of the minifigures because someone literally has the box in their hands somehow, and they refuse to show the front of the box. I mean, unless for whatever reason the set doesn't have the picture of what it is on the front of the box, which would be actually absurd. Would be wild. Appreciate you stopping by, Aaron. Here to listen to you, CPA. I enjoy listening. Thank you very much. That means a lot. I really appreciate that. I try to, you know, work my voice to where it's not screeching. I try to be somewhat soothing. Papa Rex, I might do what M&R did with it. Honestly, that's better. That might end up being better. Obviously, it needs some more detail around it, but wasn't there an animation out there that had a Lego Death Star? Was it Rebuild the Galaxy, where it kind of showed what it could look like? So, I mean, I feel like a lot of people are probably gonna do that, and it'll end up being way cheaper than $1,000 would be my guess. Death Star Joanne Fabric. No, we'll get into it. It's basically going to be an advent calendar of many sorts, and it's kind of a shame. Sam Russell, do you like the concept, or is it this concept at that price point you don't like? So I think if you're saying do I like a $1,000 Death Star? I would say if the concept meets the right execution, which whatever, I know it's kind of a different discussion, but I would say $1,000 Death Star could work. I don't think when anybody heard $1,000 Death Star, I don't think anyone was saying this is stupid. Why would you do $1,000 Death Star? That makes no sense. I think everyone, for the most part, was fine with it because it's one of the most iconic things in all of Star Wars. It's the big bad station in Episode 4, comes back in Episode 6. It inspires Starkiller Base. But yeah, Sam, I just saw your message. We'll get to that. But I'm just kind of starting out with $1,000 Death Star. So I think it works, and I think all of you would probably agree if it's the right size, the right minifigs, it could work. Now on to your next question: the concept of a diorama display case. I think it's kind of cool. It's just expensive. Yes, I think it's the price point, and once again, as we'll get into later, this might be something we could study, or Lego is certainly going to study this in how they, Lego is horrible at controlling leaks, but the leaks ruined this set by far in the simple fact of what we see from the outset. $1,000 Death Star. I'm arguing this was never supposed to be marketed as a true Death Star. What am I trying to say? The concept, or we'll call it the name of this set, which we don't even know the name of it. I don't know the name of it. It might be out there. I just don't know. It's something like Star Wars Moments, or Star Wars History of Star Wars Diorama, original trilogy Star Wars Diorama. So we're getting these moments, and what they chose to be the vehicle of those moments was the Death Star, which makes sense. I mean, if you think about it, if you're trying to show a bunch of scenes from the Death Star, a bunch of scenes from A New Hope, various scenes from Return of the Jedi, what better big thing to house it in than a Death Star? But when the first leak to go out there is $1,000 Death Star, that is horrible. That is a really bad thing. So I think Lego is dealing with that right now. But at the end of the day, we have to remember, I don't know exact percentages. I would say maybe 10% of the consumer base, probably less than 10% of the total Lego consumer base is drilled into the details, is drilled into the leaks, drilled into live streams like this, speculations, the Instagram posts, even the Facebook posts. By the time they hit the Facebook posts, for the most part, they're already what the set's gonna be. So from my point of view, we're not gonna know, which this is my cop-out answer, we're not gonna know of what this is actually going to do until we see all the normies talking about this, on the Instagram post, what it's going to look on the Instagram post. They're the reel they always have, the animatic. Are they going to care about it? Is that thing going to get 100,000 plus likes, a couple million views? I think it obviously will, like they normally do, but it'll be interesting what the dialogue on that side of things are. So that's where I see this, where I'm looking at it. So let's see what we got some updates in chat. Right, PvP. The rumors, it's great now because we all get to keep $1,000, which, I mean, like I said at the beginning, I don't know if I ever would have spent $1,000 on a UCS Death Star. It's just not. It's not what it can be. And then Liam, channel member, dropping a $5 super chat. Dear Lego, please stop pricing me out of Star Wars sets. Respectfully, someone who gives a crap. Yeah, and I mean, Sean from Makob has talked about this so much. In some respects, Lego might just be using this as a loss leader. Something to, well, not really a loss leader. There's another term for it. Basically, they're just trying to get you in the door because you heard that Lego is making this $1,000 Lego set and you have to see it. You need to see it. But you're not going to buy that $1,000 Lego set. You're going to buy a 59. What's the V19 Torrent? Is that $60? You're going to buy a $59.99 V19. So Lego is still getting some money out of you, even if they're not getting the $1,000 set. And even, how long is this thing going to be on shelves? I would guess 5 years. I would be very surprised for Lego to create a $1,000 product, and it's only on shelves or in production for 2 to 3 years. That would very much surprise me. So yeah, we're all, the price just keeps going up. I mean, it is what it is. Lego is a premium product. I know we wish they would provide a consistently premium experience, but this is sort of just where we are, and I get to talk about it. So that's kind of the fun for me. Fabu says it's most iconic, but also boring. Even with perfect execution, the figs can't carry. I agree with you there. I know a lot of people talking about the Imperials, the Commanders, all that whole crew, generals. For me as well, it's really just not enough. Like, you can only make Imperials so interesting, even with dual molded legs. If they all had dual molded white, black, light bluish, gray, black, dark bluish, gray, black, there's only so much you can do to make Imperials interesting, which is kind of the point from George Lucas. So, you know, it kind of is what it is. Kevin, thanks for stopping by. 40 figs, 9,000 pieces, I think 10 cents a piece, and there's the Star Wars Premium. It's really not that crazy. From a price point, yeah, you are right. 9,000 pieces, it's going to be a little over 10 cents a piece. But still, just to play it up a little more, I mean, it still needs to hit. I mean, it still needs to hit. It's kind of my real thought of it. It just needs to hit. It needs to have that special wow factor, especially as a UCS set. Dark Horse is gonna mock up his own Death Star. Nice. Very exciting. Good to see you, Papa Trip. No problem, just lurking. I always appreciate the viewers, the likes and the viewers. Always appreciate it. That's a great question. What is the lifestyle bro or gal or family? Dude, you know Lego, they want to get the whole family involved. I bet this is going to be one where they're going to have like 4 people that might have all friends. It might be 2 parents and a bunch of kids building this thing. I'm actually kind of, now that you mention, I'm very intrigued to see what they're going to do for their lifestyle photo and how big the table's going to be. Thanks for stopping by, RoboNut03. Hope you're doing well. So no one has publicly seen the set just yet. Judging from the figs and the parking, you'd say fair. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I could mentally justify a $1,000 Lego set, especially one like this. So we shall see. I know, right? I thought about that too. Yes, this is CPA-fol episode 66. Very exciting that this is the case. Just happened to be on this episode. I mean, it would have been cool for a Revenge of the Sith UCS set. That would have been wild. But I will take it. Because, of course, Order 66 led to the creation of the Death Star. So why would we not? Why would we not do that? And even as we speak, there's various news being dropped from various discords from a Brick Clicker in specific, which I believe I am okay to share because I really don't want to get in trouble. I do not want to get in trouble. But that being said, There are double the amount of people viewing than liking, so make sure, if you haven't already, make sure you like the stream. We're going to get into all the nitty-gritties of the characters. This could end up being pushing a 2-hour stream. I don't want it to. I don't want to spend more of your evenings with me than you guys have to, because I know we all love talking about the info, but I'm sure you all can get sick of me pretty quickly, so I do not want to take too much of your time. With that being said, we've got the Death Star 2. The measurements. So the measurements are also public at this point, and I believe Get Cooped was gracious enough to translate these centimeters into inches. So we do have the measurements. Where's my handy dandy tape measure? I know I always have it within reach. There it is. I knew it wasn't going to be too far off. All right. Right off the bat, we'll start with the shape. Yes, we are not getting a sphere. I'm going to pause to give you all a second to recompose yourself. Grab some tissues. Wipe the tears from your eyes. We're just not getting. It's not going to be a sphere. Brickmaster Harry. Oh, and Brick Badger, yes. Graham and Grandpa, they are going to build a Death Star. Brickmaster Harry, is there a new Death Star coming out? If you have been out of the loop for a while, you are going to save yourself a lot of heartache, because the short answer, basically no. A new Death Star is not coming out. You can stick around a little longer to figure out what actually is coming out. NFX Gamer Official, or NEX. Thanks for stopping by, I appreciate it. Make sure you like the stream, subscribe if you're new. Measurements. So I've been informed that the measurements are 27 inches by 31 inches by 10.5 inches. So imagine the 10.5 inches is how deep it is. See, this is the thing. Some people are claiming it's going to be like a quarter sphere, and I think that's what Brick Clicker said. He says it's a giant diorama in a box shaped like the top half of a Death Star. So that makes me think, like, take a bowl you have and then put it upside down, kind of like a flat saucer, a flatter bowl. Flip it upside down, like the dome. Pretend it's like the dome. Is that what, are we really gonna get the dome? That would be wild to me, because it's only going to be 10.5 inches deep. So it's really only going to be this deep, but yet it's going to be 27 inches wide. Okay. I got to make sure you guys can see what's going on. Let's flick it back to the main. So we're looking at 27 inches wide, but then 30 inches tall, or vice versa, either or. In short, it's going to be 30 by 30, so it's going to be pretty square. Okay, that's tall. That's I'll kind of zoom back and show you some measurements. It's not fitting in this shelf. It's literally not fitting in this shelf, okay? So, needless to say, it is very tall. It's very wide. 30 inches has to be the width. There's no way it's taller than it is wider. Regardless, it's still not fitting in the shelf. Liam brings up an interesting point, and I always like to talk price on things. 2 older Death Stars, will they go up in price? I would venture to say they will. Okay. A couple of scenarios come to mind. The old Death Stars. Now, I don't think the play scale, we'll call them the play scale MBS Death Stars. I think the Death Star 2 will just continue to keep doing its thing, likely going up in price as it has probably been doing for a while now. Now, the play scale Death Stars, and I think what I'm kind of getting at is, will people seeing this star being $1,000, not offering much of the Death Star aspect, push them to go buy the play scale Death Star? Maybe. I could see that happening. I could also see nothing happening and people just kind of going on with their lives and saying, oh, yeah, okay, $1,000, yep, don't need to buy that. Don't need to buy that one bit. Which is kind of where I feel like we'll end up being, for better or for worse. This picture was shared as kind of what it could look like. Which brings up an interesting point. If you want to build a complete UCS Death Star, you have to buy not one, not two, not even three. You have to buy 4 of these things to round out the entire build. Is that not absolutely absurd? If that's the case, full speculation, full rumor, that's what we're digging into right now. I mean, it kind of looks like that might be the case. But that being said, so it looks like from here, and there you go. From here, and I gotta, sorry Shreddy, gotta hide you. But no, yeah, this is a big boy. It's taking up some real estate. From here to here is what I'm expecting to be the 30 inches. From here to the top of the circle, I'm expecting to be 27 inches. And then the real interesting thing is, I don't know how on earth you get the 10 inches. So it's going to be like from here to about here, and then it's going to be curved up. That makes little to no sense to me. So it's like you can make like an egg, I guess, if you buy 4 of them. Not an egg, but it'll be like really skinny. So that part trips me off. Now, I would expect that on the side, the display side will be this flat side. And then I would expect, and I think Brick Clicker said it, on this flat curved side, they're gonna throw you a dish. The laser dish, probably with translucent green pieces, so you'll be able to reenact that scene, of course. That would be very disappointing if that wasn't the case. I would hope for intense greebling and such on the side, all over the side of this shell, because you would need that. You would absolutely need that. It's at this very moment I kind of wish I knew how to work in whether it's Blender or CAD, because then you could probably very, very easily create your own one-to-one scale of what this is going to look like. See, Fabu, I kind of lean to what you're thinking. Probably not even, I mean, probably not curved in the back. I don't know. Because what I'm thinking is, how did the Death Star rumor even come about? That's what I want to know. And that kind of leans into what Fish Food Net, thanks for joining. New viewer, I do not recognize your very, very interesting name. Love the name, by the way. I'm really hoping this is a fake rumor. They have lost their minds if it's not a sphere for $1,000. Could not agree more. Could not agree more. But once again, that's kind of what leads into the fact of why LEGO rightfully hates leaks to begin with. Because they can't even control the own dialogue around their own product that's coming out, even if the dialogue is fake. Because LEGO's not going to come out and say, these rumors, these leaks are fake. It's not a $1,000 Death Star, or that's not the complete picture. Because that's just them, that's just them engaging in this kind of, we'll call it nefarious behavior, depending on how the information is obtained. So that part is very, very interesting to think about. Liam, it depends on who you ask, because there are some droids, and I guess that's a good question because I don't even know if I know the full. I have a list of figs, not B list, A list. With that being said, I'm gonna start. You guys want to get into the figure section, or yes, you know what? I'm gonna do that right now, just because it's absolutely hilarious. I want to show the people what they're missing. Or I can't do a side by side, can I? Because it's a window capture. Yeah. I'll skip on that. That's okay. That being said, minifigures in this set. I have a list right here of 34 so far, and I think it's a combination from what was on the picture. Some very, very interesting minifigures. Some that I did not expect, and I will say there is one that I definitely didn't know what to expect. Or didn't know was coming, didn't expect. I think some other people brought it up, and I was like, that would make next to 0 sense. But we're getting them. So let's dig into it. Starting with some kind of generic minifigures. Right off the bat. And I ruined my own window capture. Right off the bat, we have perfect. I'm finding the perfect images, which I think will comprise one of the parts of the set, because one of the latest rumors, like I think, I want to make sure I'm pulling up the correct information. Which is because Brick Clicker, and I'll just pull up his page. Brick Clicker is calling this a large-scale diorama. So what's a diorama? Of course, we get various memories, various scenes, various moments from Star Wars that we will see in this UCS set. In those such moments, one of the groups of minifigs, excuse me, this ghost is getting to me, that we will be getting. Luke Skywalker. Well, now I'm reading this again. Okay, yeah. I know how to read. I promise I know how to read. Welcome, MKM Brick. Great to see you in the chat. Make sure you give us a like. Give me a like. Not us. There's no us here. It's just me. Mrs. CPA is over there. I don't know if you guys can hear her in the background, but she's kind of a nerd. She's playing D&D right now. Kind of a nerd. So we're letting her do her thing. We're doing our thing, talking about Lego Star Wars. We're cool. We're cool. We're not nerds playing D&D. Come on. But thanks for stopping by. The first group of minifigs that we are getting. Well, now I want to pull up the other one too. The other one as well. Oh, that is a very small photo. This is a tiny photo. Where's the picture? Of course, it's not working. That is from a different scene. Okay, we're back. We're back. All right. The first group of minifigs. We've got Luke Skywalker, Stormtrooper. These are all rumors, by the way. Rumors, speculation, might not happen. Luke Skywalker, Stormtrooper. Han Solo, Stormtrooper. Chewbacca. R2-D2. Bang. C-3PO. Bang. Right over there. Obviously, we're getting Princess Leia. We're getting Princess Leia, I believe, in this outfit, which makes sense because that's really the only thing she's wearing on the Death Star. We are getting, though, Farm Boy Luke. Love to see the return. The epic return of Farm Boy Luke. We are getting Han Solo in his normal attire. And that about wraps it up. We are getting Kenobi. So I feel like, can someone... I should be taking notes. I know I'm kind of asking you all to take notes. Not really. I'm not asking you all to take notes. Lightbrick says this is going to be an FL... What does FLOP mean? FLOP. No. Flop. Yes. No, this is going to be a flop, unfortunately. Partially because of what is... Well, I said this in the beginning, and I don't want to be double speaking at all, because if you remember, I said in the beginning that the normies, or the hardcore people, comprise about 10% or less, was my guesstimation, and the other people are not attuned to the leaks and such as we are. However, it doesn't take long for news to hit the widespread media, whether it's largely TikTok, Instagram, various short forms, where they're kind of blasting different things that LEGO is releasing. If you remember, or at least I remember, a couple of people sharing TikToks with me where absolutely blasting the pricing of the August wave for Star Wars, comparing it to other themes, and it was just kind of wild, the views that people were getting on those short form videos. So I mean, there's definitely a ramp up to when that occurs. But that being said, nerd alert, nice. That being said, I will be very intrigued to know and see when the widespread community finds out, the normies find out about this, especially if it's pushed to them as a $1,000 Death Star. Holy cow, that would destroy any hopes of this set. But some of the scenes, all bringing that full circle, some of the scenes I think we'll be getting. And if you looked at my thumbnail, if we look at the dimensions of this set, I think we should plan for about 10 moments. I don't know, it'd be interesting if they were to give us more moments than could fit, if they're like interchangeable, kind of like a modular type of thing. Would be very, very interesting. So I'm actually on my laptop. I'm gonna start taking some notes because I want to remember by the end what different scenes we're gonna get. So obviously, first, right off the bat, we are definitely going to get this scene in the, what would you even call this scene? C3PO and R2 in the side room, like the red and black room. That would be one diorama that would I fully expect we would get. Now, that being said, we do get them in Stormtrooper and normal. So we would have to get them in some sort of hallway. I mean, there has to be some sort of hallway diorama, whether it's Han and Luke in their Stormtrooper taking Chewie up the elevator. That kind of strikes me as reasonable. Now, once again, we do get going down the minifigure list. I'm going to skip to some of the fun figs. Okay, Sam, you bring up a good point. Looking at the dioramas we've gotten in the past, I would, and if we're thinking about like various moments, and thanks Anthony Astro for stopping by, appreciate it. That's interesting again as well, Sam, that you can only, which I mean that makes sense because in universe obviously she's only in one moment at a time, so she got it. Who told her? 40% up would be crazy. That would be wild. I would very much be surprised. I think I don't think this one's going to hit a discount, because if you think about it, if Lego's giving this one a discount, that's basically saying that their premier product is not good enough for full price, which would very much surprise me. Brick Badger doing some amazing math. I'm very proud of you on that one. So he says dioramas on the shelf now cost about $70 on average. That means a $1,000 set should yield about 14 dioramas. I know that's not the case, but we'll see. So I like where your head's at thinking about the price of dioramas. I think personally, if we bake in a cushion, because obviously dioramas, they have their little base, but they don't have this huge Death Star shell. So I think we need to bake into that some kind of buffer for the part of the fund budget allocation to go to that shell. So maybe, but I mean, I like where your head's at. So we'll say like 10 to 14. I think if we can come up with 10 to 14 solid dioramas, we'll probably be in the right area. And we've, I mean, with the minifig list that we have, there's a lot of just gimme sets, gimme dioramas that have to be the case. So we've been through, and I like kind of going through the original trilogy to just kind of see. Yeah, no, I feel like 10 to 14. 14 on the high end, 10 on like, if we're getting less than 10 moments from this UCS set, that would be low-key absolutely absurd. So I would hope that we would not get less than 10. That'd be wild. All right. And I just realized I didn't even share this stream to the boys in the Discord. I know there's some boys from the Discord already in here, but it's wonderful just to get everyone involved. Join now and chat about the wonderful success that will be the UCS Death Star. But I like where we're heads at, doing a little group think here, trying to figure out what's gonna come of this. And I just saw 39 of you there. Thanks everyone for stopping. Just crossed 40. If you're stopping by for the first time, or if you're just kind of coming through, make sure you leave a like. Highly appreciated. I want to get the community's thoughts on this set, so liking the stream goes a long way. Subscribe if you're new here and haven't subscribed already for future speculations. Maybe this can be a thing. As we get ever closer to the release of this thing, I am very intrigued to see what information comes out. My fingers actually are crossed. All of my fingers and toes are crossed, because I'm hoping that this mystery individual that has the box in their possession releases the front of the box so we can see what it is. As soon as that comes out, I better see everyone pinging in chat, because I want to know. I want to know. That being said, in the picture, it looks like they might have Crocs. That would explain a lot. If these people have Crocs, that would explain everything I need to know. Back to the information at hand. Staying with episode 4, going down the list, the next thing I see is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Let's see, Death Star, Kenobi. So you better believe, and why would we not? You better believe we are getting this scene in the UCS Death Star. I just paused because it's not really a Death Star, but you know, this is where we're at. So in the scene, we see the bridge across. We see these things going down, these lights going into the cavern. Obviously, Kenobi is on here with the little spindle. Have we gotten this in Lego before? Am I tripping? Have we already got this scene in Lego before? Yeah, let's go. Oof. Astro, my AC went out and passed out hard trying to get past the hottest part of the... Oof. And I know where you're at. It is very hot. That's crazy. Hobby Hangout, I'm here to spread the pro Death Star propaganda. You are crazy, dude. That's crazy. I might have to mods, do your thing. Do your thing. Just kidding. Just kidding. Kevin, you know all those panels gonna be stickers. You're probably right. I feel like it's getting a little too spicy in here. I feel like this chair, it's getting too hot. Nah, you're good. You're good, Hobby Hangout. I know you're hopeful for this set being good, but I don't know if I have it in me to trust the process. And Spoon 3D Prince, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, everyone, certainly, especially for those of you that know the fig list, definitely drop which rooms or moments you think we're going to see, because that will help me in the process. But I need to add to my list, Kenobi, deactivating tractor beam with 2 stormtroopers. We see 2 right there. Makes perfect sense. So that's kind of an easy gimme. Oh yes, another one which I know someone brought up a little bit ago that I'm going to add to the list. The scene where Luke and Leia swing across. So let me get that one on screen just so we can kind of get a better look. Is there ooh, that'd be cool if there was a GIF. Give me a GIF. Well, there's many a GIF in this. Too many a GIF. Ooh, Tumblr. Have we all heard of Tumblr? It's been a while. So I think we get this scene easy. It can probably be honestly on the other side of the Kenobi tractor beam scene. Oh, look at Indiana Jones making a splash. Oh, that's perfect. Whoops. And it's even on Tumblr. How perfect is that? So I think that's kind of a unlock. That's an easy scene. I know. So it's also interesting. I mean, I just answered my own question. I can even do some show and tell. I see one right there. One sec. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm in too deep now. I don't know if none of you saw that. Some of you saw that. We have, and I can't believe I was like, has Lego made a tractor beam scene? Death Star cannon with the tractor beam on this side. Obviously, let's see, 159 pieces, cheap as bones. I think this one was $15 or so. I would expect something like this, but beefed up naturally. Man, look at these old boxes. Does this take you back to like 2019? I bought all these FPJ. I can't believe I did that. Also, this scene. There you go. What do they call it? Death Star Escape? Is that what they call it? Yes, they do. So we'll get something like this. Would be my expectation. I do not have... I never got the... why am I blanking? The trash compactor room. So that's this is something we will probably it would be high on my expectation list to get a tractor. So in this one, we've got Luke, Han in their Stormtrooper with Leia, Chewie, trash compactor. We're already up to 5 so far. So 10 better be on the low end. I mean, call me out. How is it a bait title? Like, obviously it's my opinion. I'm not trying to say it's not my opinion, but I'd love to know how it's a bait, a clickbait title. Please tell me. I spend lots of time figuring out what title I'm going to use. Put a lot of effort into it. So I would love to know. This has to be this has to be the biggest letdown in Lego history. We're getting a square. Hey, I mean, if you think about it, it's low-key perfect because Lego is square. So why would the Death Star not be square? I mean, here we go. I'm taking notes. Trash compactor, got it. Prison cell room. Oh yeah. Prison cell room. So that's got Leia, Luke, Han. Easy. Hangar bay. I really hope we can land a ship in. Dream on. Final duel room. I imagine that's an... You're getting ahead of me. But I'll write these down anyways. Luke. Vader. Sidious. Or Palpy. And then some of his dignitaries. Final duel room. Elevator that's functional. Hatta. Once again, you're getting ahead of me. And then... Gunner. Artillery. I like where your head's at. And you're getting ahead of me, which is fantastic. No, Adam Zed, don't do this. Don't buy it. Don't do it. I'm curious why, though. Certainly let me know why. Why are you buying this no matter what? Is it just because, do you buy everything? Is it your MO to buy everything Lego Star Wars? Because that would make sense. I would certainly understand that. I wouldn't, not, I might blame you a little bit, but if you're doing it anyways, this ain't gonna stop you, which, you know, it is what it is. Respect. Mini Falcon, I personally don't want them to put any budget towards ships. You can buy a mini scale Falcon and put it in there as well if you want. Why would we want more money to go towards that? I'd rather more go towards another room or something. That's where my mind's at. Also, in my list here, I am assuming that all the rooms are the same size. And if we're getting this kind of curve thing, if we're getting a curve here, that really can't be the case because, you know, unless they have this dead space on the top and the sides, which would be kind of a shame. Oh, in the meeting room, some sort of barracks. You know which scene that I hope we get? I don't know what. Hey, there it is. I hope we get this scene. And it kind of, like, if these two things can go side by side next to each other, like, it would make a lot of sense. I hope we get this scene. But I mean, we're not going to get that many stormtroopers, so it's kind of moot at some point, but it is what it is. So, and man, the chat is going crazy. Love to see it. Papa Rex, hangar, throne room, rope swing, detention center, Imperial conference room. Yeah, we'll get to that one. CPA, you basically already have the $1,000 Death Star right in front of you. Are you saying like with these sets that I've got, I literally have, I'm there. I've already got two of the 12 memories, or 10 to 14. I'm rounding to 12 memories. We've already got them right here. And we're not even onto the GWP yet. That's all, that's just a gift. It's a precious gift for all of you. All this. I've given Lego a little more than $1,000. Brick Badger, and we need to total up all the sets that they've already built and sold in the past that we know are going to end up in this set. Probably ends up like $300 or $400. That's fair. That's fair. Control room, that's what it is. I kind of forgot. I forgot words. Words are tough. Best set of our lives. Best. Dude, if we only get one hot tub guy, I will be so angry. I will be so angry. Yo, don't go there, Brick Badger. That is a dark place. You do not want to go there. Saying, I know the figs have already leaked, but sick part of me wishes they might as well just do mini dolls. That is to a grave line of thinking. To a grave place this line of thinking will take us. Star Wars. I'll tell you exactly how many. All right, you have to be very careful when you search Star Wars hot tub scene GIF. You have to be very, very careful, and I really don't want to accidentally have something pop up. Let's see. You know, just take GIF out of that, and we'll be good to go. Here you go. This is how many I need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least 4. We're getting the hot tub scene from Lego Star Wars. Now, the question is, will this be a GWP? Probably not, because it's in the fig list. It's in a normie fig list. Whoa, whoa, whoa. No, don't search that. Anthony, don't do that. Jen, thanks for stopping by. Hello, what are you up to? So we're just speculating. We're just speculating what is in the $1,000 Lego Death Star. It's going to be about 30, I'm rounding, 28 by 28 inches, kind of a giant square, about 10 inches deep. We don't really know what we're getting as far as, we're not really sure. Like, it's gonna be 10 inches deep, so does that mean there's gonna be a curve on the back? Is it literally gonna be a straight up box? Oh, Adam, that, like, a TIE fighter is a GWP, unless those 3 figures are just amazing, then get it out of here. Get it out of here. Jen says, hot take, I'm fine without dual molding and one. Man, I feel like we need at least 2. Because they're gonna be chilling in this tub. You can't have, what was it? Rune said, I hope there's 3 hot tub Stormies. We can't have him chill in the tub by himself. 100% agree with that. It'd be wild. Yeah, so the dimensions, and I know Fabu, we talked about this before, but what, like, does anyone have a shelf? You cannot fit this in your existing Lego Star Wars collection. I would be very surprised if anyone out there could fit this set in their existing collection. It's too big. You'd have to completely rearrange. I would have to take, can you all see that? Let me make sure you all can see. I would have to, here, let me do this. I would have to take this whole shelf out, and it would still almost be too tall. It would come right up to about where my... It would be right where my finger, right here. I would only have about 2.5 inches of clearance. So that would basically become my display. And, well, did I just answer my own question? Because I just said, you will not be fitting this in your existing Star Wars collection. So, to that end, is Lego saying, yeah, no, we know that. We're not trying to sell this to people who have existing Star Wars collections. We're trying to sell this to people with no Lego Star Wars collection. And to that I say, that is absurd. I hope this is not marketed as a UCS. It has to be, just for the the sheer point of being $1,000 in a Lego Star Wars set, but oh, what on earth? This is where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on to the next segment of Vader Emperor Palpatine. So, if I can type. We're apparently to the gift portion of this. Let's see. Well, so this will be interesting because there's a couple different things we could get from this. Ooh, there are several things we can get from this. And they're all going to be gifts. They all have to be gifts, obviously. Why would they not be gifts? All right, let's get out of here. I will not get rid of Bionicle for this. I need to army build hot tub stormtroopers. Yeah, no, that's fair, Jen. Going to see what the set looks like before judging you hard. No bias here. I personally am going into this hoping it's just bad, and that's not fair. I know it's not fair, but when Lego is pushing a $1,000 product, part of me just shakes my head. Like, how far have we come to create a $1,000 product from a toy company? It's where we're at. It's where we are at. Laser beam. Yes. So in the beginning of the stream, I kind of laid out that it's going to be basically 27 inches by 27. I think it's technically 27, it's 30 inches wide, 27 inches tall. I think it's going to have a dome kind of on the back. Did I already close that picture? Let me re-find it. Let's see. So something like this. Let me zoom in. And the dish would probably be on here with the laser beam going out the side of it. That'd be my expectation. That being said, if we're talking, I need to close a bunch of these. We're through that. We're through that. That. Trash compactor scene. Yes. All right. So if we're talking final duel, we're jumping to Return of the Jedi. That's what we're jumping to. I think we need to get the scene where, well, that's different. The scene where Luke is ram-a-jamming on Vader, and then coincidentally, subsequently, when Vader throws Palpatine down the hole. So I think we need to get that scene. Now, there's a lot, depending on how big these little dioramas are, which actually, let me do some fancy math. If we're looking at 30, and we think there's going to be 10 to 14 slots. I'll say 10 slots. Three by 4 by 3. 3 by 3. 10 inches for each slot. 8 inches for each. That is small, dude. 5. 6. 6 by 8. Whew. And only 10. Okay. These are kind of small. Well, no. They're, I mean, in some respects, I'm thinking the trash compactor diorama is a really good footprint for what these things are going to look like. Me either, Fabu. I'm kind of on your side. I just don't really know. I don't know how this is going to have any sort of curvature. That just does not vibe with me. That being said, as far as Final Duel, we're getting some kind of catwalk, I would hope. Then we're getting some kind of shaft for Palpy to fall down. And then I think we have to get Palpatine in that area. It's got to include Palpatine's throne. So we're going to say includes throne. I think that's fair. Gonna be small. Let me tell you, gonna be small, but it's gonna have everything. Now, shifting forward, the hangar bay. I think the hangar bay, they're gonna have to have one hangar bay that doubles for all of this. Falcon, the Imperial shuttle, and for Vader's arrival and for Palpatine's arrival. So we're gonna have one for all of those. Do I already have a hangar bay in here? Hangar bay. We're up to 11 now. Oh, haven't gotten to one of them on there. But let's go to another fig we've got on the list. Okay, we're moving into the Imperial section. Oh, I forgot to mention. In this portion of the Death Star, we will be getting these people. At least one of them, maybe? One of these guys, I think, is what we're getting. So, was that on the list? Imperial Dignitary, I think, is what what that one's going to be. Oh, and then Royal Guards. Obviously, we'll get a couple Royal Guards. So that section's gonna be a lot of people are gonna comprise of that section, which is totally fine. All right, let's go to the Imperial table. Conference room. We're going to have a lot of people from this conference room show up. And I'm going to have to do some Googling because there's a handful of names in here that I do not quite recognize. So in here, we can get these two dudes off to the left. They can kind of just stand in the corner. We do need this table. We need this table. It needs to be grand. It needs to be circular. It needs to have this little dome thing on it. In here, we have who do we have? Excuse me. Grand Moff Tarkin. Don't think that surprises anybody. He's right there in the middle. Then we have Colonel Wolf Yularen. He's over here to the left. Then we get into the names that I don't recognize as much because I'm a fake fan. Admiral Moti, he's kind of the talker. He's the yapper over here. Dogs on Vader for a bit. General Taj? He's got the horrendous haircut over here. He'll be in there as well. And actually, as far as like full-on Imperial dudes, those are the only ones. So we got Grand Moff, Colonel Wolf, Admiral Mati, General Tag. Imperial Dignitary, I think that'll be with Palpatine. Galen Erso is an interesting ad. I don't think they will have a room specifically tag. Okay. I don't think I was being sarcastic. I'm not a normie. I'm not a normie. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. The conference room, I'm all about that conference room. Give me honestly, this should be a diorama on its own. This should be its own diorama. Yeah, that's something I'm worried about as well, that this table is going to be drastically undermined. But if we're thinking of the dimensions I gave out before, we'll say 8 inches deep, 8 inches wide, and then like 6 inches tall. There's some room. There's some room in there. There's some room for some growth. So back to the two figs that I did not expect to see. Well, I should say one. Director Krennic is one that I'm not surprised about. He's close enough with the Death Star. Director Krennic, did he ever go on the Death Star? I don't know that he ever went on the Death Star. So this is kind of a problem for me. Kind of a problem. Thanks for stopping by, Hobby Hangout. I hope you step on a Lego brick. So we're getting Galen Erso and Krennic. So he was... Okay, so he was on the Death Star. That's fair. Yeah, so it was his entire job. I just don't remember him ever being specifically on there. Granted, Rogue One is probably... I've only seen Rogue One once. I think the only Star Wars media I've seen less than Rogue One is Rise of Skywalker. Feel free to lambast me in the comments, but I have seen Last Jedi more than I've seen Rogue One. Granted, it's just by one. It's just by one viewing. See, this is what I was thinking. This is what I was... Like, we've seen this a lot. Was this him on the Death Star? No, that's the new movie. Or that's the new TV show. I'm not doubting that he was on the Death Star. Was it this scene? Is that when Jedha gets blown? Oh, so that's another thought. Will we get a memory that is Alderaan getting blown up? Oh, Sam Ross. Good call, Sam. I've only seen The Acolyte once. So Rise of Skywalker and Acolyte are fighting for that spot. They are clamoring for that spot. Well, that could be cool. I feel like a $6.99 Jedi Temple could be something. Maybe. They're all, Fabu, they're going to be understood. They're not going to be actually there. They're just going to be kind of implied. We're going to get implied characters. So but I wouldn't be surprised if they have, oh yeah, what if they have a scene like this? I think we should get a scene that is of these guys. Granted, it would be a ginormous sticker on the wall, but could be interesting. Maybe not. I'm talking myself out of this. I think I just talked myself out of using that. So skip that. But we do need a couple more. Yeah, Alderaan. See, that's another room that I thought. I think we might. That can be a scene with a nice little sticker. We could get that scene. I'm trying to pull up a picture for you all. There we go. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Trying to stay valid. That's what we're trying to do here. Oh, Sam. Duh. How did I miss that one? I think we could get this scene with a sticker of Alderaan in the distance blowing up. I don't think we'll get it blowing up. That would be a little morbid. But I think we get one of just the planet. Come on. The white balance is all messed up. Sam bringing up an excellent point. I know, right, Willie? That was my first thought. Vader Obi fight scene. I think that is something that we need. It's pretty iconic. You can get the nice angled window. The question is, do you do the angled window as part of the diorama to us? Or do you do that angled to another side so you can put Luke and Solo in another room and the group in another room, and then you have them seeing it? Or is it like us from this end? Us seeing... Well, I have GIF chosen. I need to not do GIF. Yeah, like this. Do we do something like this? That's kind of the question, but I will add that to the list. Vader Kenobi duel. I think that is very important. I agree. Ugh, Shreddy, you're killing me. How many 8x10 stud stickers are we gonna get? Oh my word, please no. Make it stop. Brick match. You know what? Lego is counting on us all having at least like 4 Vaders in our collection for us to make this work. But so Fabu, I don't know if it will beat the sticker count record, but it will beat, by far, will beat the sticker square inch record. The area of sticker coverage record. That's what I'm calling. And I don't think anyone is trying to beat me to that bet because that's kind of on the list. Okay. Going down the list, we've got a couple just gimmies. We talked about the hot tub stormtrooper. Yes. We've got Death Star gunner. Those could fit anywhere. Imperial crew member, fit anywhere. Imperial shuttle pilot. So that was one thing Jen mentioned before she headed out. Where's the message? Mini scale shuttle in the Death Star, almost 100%. So that could be that scene, which I had earlier. I don't know if it's... I think I closed it. That could be a scene where we have the arrival of Vader and the arrival of Death Star Emperor arrival. Yes, this scene. We could get this scene. And I would fully expect that this scene would be this large. It would be huge minifig scale, easy minifig scale Imperial shuttle. It's going to be fantastic. Obviously, jokes. But that would track. Unless are they going to have like phalanges off of this Death Star that can have ships flying? Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just guessing. It might be a 4+ set. Honestly, Fabu, that would not surprise me if it's like, pretend, here, I'll show you exactly what I'm thinking. You cut off, so there's only like this much of the Imperial shuttle showing. So it's literally like this, and then shrunk down like crazy. That would be something I would expect to be the case. What up, Will? Good to see you in chat. So here are Shreddy's rooms. I have Celebration Metal Vader, Celebration Metal Vader, Throne Room Vader, Vader in the Sealed Meditation Chamber. I think they pass on Meditation Chamber because, one, they already did the diorama, and that was not on the Death Star. That would have been on Vader's Super Star Destroyer. So that's what that did come to mind early on, but then I was kind of like, eh. And I'm up to 12 because I think another one, let's see. Just kind of an overall like Imperial, not break room, but Imperial analysis room. Imperial boardroom is what we'll call it. Because I think we're going to have, I think we are going to have enough random characters to where Death Star Imperial room. Let's see what they give us actually. Well, yeah, war room. That's a good point. Just a room where they like talk about things. You can just put a bunch of. Oh, and this is actually a really great shot of the control room. Wow. That is a great shot. That is perfect. Wow. I don't know if this is an actual photo, but or if this is just kind of a rendering. But this was created by, it looks like Donnie Versiga. So fantastic job on this, whatever this is. What am I doing? Fantastic job. Let me close out some of these. But yes, like just some kind of room for everyone to hang out in. Because we've got Galen Erso. We've got Krennic, so they just need some kind of place to hang out. But the thing about Erso is he doesn't have a specific room that we know of in the Death Star, so I think he can kind of go anywhere. He can go in whatever room Krennic is in. He can go in the round table room. I'm sure he talked to Tarkin at some point as the lead engineer behind the Death Star. Yeah, no, he's definitely talking to Tarkin. He's talking to other people. So I think it's more than reasonable. Yes, Fabu, a break room. Is that what I had written down? No, I said boardroom. I can say board or break room. Clever Pig apparently dropping some heat. Whoa, whoa, whoa. How about this GWP? Buildable hot tub with 3 additional hot tub troopers straight out of the Lego Star Wars game. So, someone did bring that up. The GWP is apparently, get this, a buildable TIE fighter. A buildable TIE fighter GWP. Make it make sense. I don't know why we need a miniature TIE fighter with 3 figs. So, it's kind of a shame. Kind of a crying shame. A little disappointed with that one, but that would be cool. We should definitely get that. Let me see if there's been any further developments. So far, I haven't seen anything crazy, but Life Bricks, I think he's... Tyler, are you still hanging out in chat? Or are you going to go live soon? Because if you're going to go live soon, I would love to just dip out as soon as you're getting started. So that'd be fantastic, but just let me know. Why does the TIE Fighter, just so you can like put it in the room? Like, why would a TIE Fighter GWP make sense? I'm not tracking on that. But anyone who's hanging out, if you haven't already, make sure you like the stream, subscribe if you're new. Also, there haven't been as many channel members lately. I know Papa Rex, channel member hype. Clever Pig, channel member hype. If you want to become a channel member, as cheap as 99 cents per month, you get the custom made badge made by yours truly. Truly made by yours. But to do a quick summary, how deep are we're an hour and a half deep into this thing, but I want to summarize the rooms that I have put together for us real quick. That's good. That's rich, Will, and that's fair. That is definitely fair. But let me pull together a list of all of the rooms that I think we are going to get in this little build. So talk amongst yourselves, you know, just have some coffee, go to the break room. As I put together the list of things that I believe, list of rooms I believe we're going to get in here. Whoa, that's an interesting picture. Oh, that's, that is not a real, that's nothing. Okay, so we've got that scene. We've got the... I should have just kept the ones up that I thought would be... got that scene. And I appreciate everyone's input into this process because a lot of people came up with some really, really good scenes. Helped make my job a lot easier. Okay, just put some... sweets, that's helpful. I hope I'm getting actual, like... I accidentally keep clicking on stuff that's not actually pictures. It's just kind of like video game footage. Too a little short for a stormtrooper. Ooh, that's a good picture. That's a great picture. See, when people subscribe to the channel from the YouTube Shorts, it still pops up here. Got that one. Got that one. There's a lot here. I have 13 so far, which I think is fair. Nah, I don't have a picture for the break room. Oh, yeah. Okay, I think we have them all ready to go. Count them out, folks. Count them out. Let me put them in order. I need some sort of method to my madness. Go in some sort of sequential order. That came. Wait, what came first? Who came first? That came first. Fly across. That's fair. Hallway. Conference. Fight. Am I missing something? I'm missing one thing. All right. Let's check in the chat. Let's go. Clever Pig says, my doctor let me know that my cholesterol is actually lower because I'm a CPA-fol member. Just saying. Hey, I mean, I'm not going to claim that there's a correlation there, but I won't say there's not. So apparently 1 out of an unlimited number of doctors claims accordingly. So keep that in mind when you're considering. So as we potentially sum up, conclude, I'm actually going to check real quick the old Life Bricks channel. I want to see what he's doing. Is he posting a... Oh, snap. He just posted a video. So once I'm done here, make sure you go check out that video because I want to check it out too. I wasn't sure if he was going live or not. Super pumped he posted another video. That's awesome. Let's see. Oh, wow. So apparently they Imperial Royal Guards have a new torso print after 20 years. Doesn't really knock my socks off, but, you know, whatevs. Let's see. Now I'm reading through... Let's see. All right, here we go. Let's go through my couple of rooms. So, room number 1. We've got the control room. We've got C-3PO R2. I think technically the old crazy man, Ben Kenobi, is in this room at one point. Solo, R2, C-3PO, R2, Luke, Solo in their stormtrooper outfits with Leia. Leia ends up in here. Yeah. So this is kind of a good room to set up a couple different scenes. So that's pretty exciting. Next up for me, Kenobi retracting the tractor beam. Iconic scene. Easy layup that Lego can do for us. Easy beans. I think that's one that's definitely got to be in there. Next up, oh, okay. We've got Princess Leia in the detention block. Now, the detention block. The detention block could be actually a couple different things. We could end up getting this hallway as well. Or we could also end up getting this scene where they shoot the cameras, where Solo shoots the cameras. I feel like we gotta have the prison scene with... No, actually, they could do both. They could do a little hallway with the detention block and Leia in the prison cell. I think that's more than reasonable for the one like 8-inch block. It's gonna be small. It's gonna be tight. But I think that's what's in store for us here. We'll get there. We'll get there, Adam. We'll get there. Shreddy, I hope the GWP is a new UCS TIE Fighter. Oh, yeah. Dream on. Okay. Next up, room number 4. We've got the trash compactor scene. Gimme. This is a gimme. Another one. We've already had a diorama of this. We can get another set. I think that's perfectly fine. So I think we're up to 4 or 5. We're up to 5. Now we're up to the swing across. Kind of another easy layup. Now, I feel like depending on what we get for other stuff, I feel like some kind of hallway scene. Some just hallway to put your Imperial commanders, officers, your artillery folks, stormtroopers. You could even have, like you see in the background, we've got Chewie, and Han is probably over there as well. So just kind of a hallway scene, just to a filler, if you will, as one of the slots. Another example of a hallway scene. Peak room. We definitely have to have, and I think I'm gonna... What did I add? Yes, prison cell room with detention block and hallway. So we are up to... I don't know what we're up to, but I have 13 here, so we're going to end with 13. But let's see, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The conference room, you can have all your Imperial officers. You can put Krennic in here. You can put Galen Urso in here as doing a little debrief. This will be a great room. I would expect them to do some nice detailing. Please don't make these stickers. Did my my thing just failed? Don't worry, we're back. Oh, Sam, let's keep it calm. There's kids here. Just kidding. There's probably not kids here. But yeah, detail on here. Don't skimp on this room. The businessmen need their room. Okay, businessmen need their room. The hangar bay area. Need a hangar bay. This is gonna double for your hangar bay. The Falcon is gonna double for the Imperial shuttle landing. Vader landing. It's gonna have a couple different scenes you can utilize. This is gonna be like 2 studs deep. This is not gonna be deep at all. Not surprised. Not expecting anything crazy. But right next to that, the Vader Kenobi duel. That's a must. Certainly a must. Now, could they double up this in the hangar bay? This is where it's gonna get interesting, is what they choose to double up, because I don't know if it's technically, but like they could make it there is there. Actually, that might actually be the case. That would not surprise me. But stuff like that can happen to keep this, like below 12 or something like that. Then yes, I would think, actually, now that I know we only have one, if we only have one hot tub stormtrooper, this might be baked into what someone else mentioned as the detention block, where it's like a little side room. You open one little thing and it's maybe like a 4x4 or a 6x6 large stud large section, and you can fit one of these troopers in there. That would be obnoxious in my opinion, but it would be something. Jelra says, with all the details coming out, it just doesn't seem to justify the 1,000. TBD, man. It's gonna be tough. It's tough to make a call perfectly right now, but I don't think, honestly, I don't think that's gonna matter as far as it being a mix of both Death Stars, just because at this point we know it's not about the Death Star. It's about the moments going into the Death Star. So, and then of course, yes, we need a Return of the Jedi final duel with Luke, Vader, Palpy. This is going to include some royal guards. This is going to include some, or one of Palpatine's dignitaries. So this one is going to include also the shaft that Palpatine falls down. So we've got his throne room, little catwalk to the shaft. Stickers might abound. I really don't know what to expect on this one. It's the stickers, it's gonna be, I can't even come close to guesstimating what kind of stickers we're gonna see. So that's what I have. I think depending on, I did not say a gunner or artillery room. I feel like that would be baked into the hallway. And then I did not say an Imperial board break room. So those are some other options as well. Looking through another list here. As we were walking through, one of the other things I did throw out there was the room where Alderaan, when that one gets exploded with Tarkin, Vader, Leia, couple Imperial officers, sticker in a window. It's really going to be interesting to see what they make as their own section versus what they make as kind of like combinations of a couple, morphing various rooms together. That's going to be kind of where I get the most intrigued about. But as I log back in, I just don't know. At the end of the day, man, this is all speculation. This could be wrong, and we could be getting what we want. We could be getting a sphere. Maybe someone just looked at the box and they thought, oh, it's the box. It's the Lego set. But I was hoping, fingers crossed, that we would be getting pictures of the actual set. Unfortunately, that's not the case during the course of this stream. So it is what it is. We move, we live on. But as we wind down, I really appreciate everyone in chat that gave their thoughts on this Death Star and what we might be getting. Really appreciate the insight, as it was able to kind of mold what I chose, what kind of expected the final product will be. And I think we are going to be seeing the final product very, very soon. I hope, obviously, I hope for all of our sakes that we see it very, very soon. But I think in an official capacity, it will be seen, I'm going to guess like the first week of September. Maybe the Monday after, or the week of Labor Day. I could see that being the case. But that being said, actually, I do have a little update. I mentioned it in the Discord as the white balance gets back in case. I did end up creating my own sig fig. Now, this is like the primo version, because if I ever do put these out on a more of a mass scale, I'm not giving all of them dual molded arms, because this dual molded arms is a very uncommon part. So this one is just for my version. But I do like the pants. Obviously, it's got the Bionicle torso. Love that. But I'm looking into other things. So like, let's say I want to have, I wear a sweater like that fairly often, so I think it'd be fun to just have kind of a bunch of different clothing options. But I think I'm pretty settled into that hair. Is that close enough? Is that hair close enough? Gotta do it straight on. It's kind of throwing me off. And a fun fact, actually, this hair color debuted in the Twilight set. Debuted in the Twilight set with Edward Cullen. So and they added it to Pick-a-Brick, which I was very surprised they added it to Pick-a-Brick. So that is absolutely awesome. And Torso is also on Pick-a-Brick, so that's cool as well. The face print is actually a little harder to find because the ooh, Shreddy, good call. Yes, it's in Superboy, it's in the BTS set, and it's not in many other sets because they don't have the light nougat with the molded arms in many sets. But Adam Zed, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate your contributions as well. But once we get more information, I might have to do another stream like this in the future because I want to see just how far off or spot on we were with the rooms that we chose. So I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with these figs as well. Like if I want to just wait till Brickworld next year, hand them out, or kind of make it a thing where you can pick them up. I can ship them earlier than that. I like the little microphone. You can do like a little power pose. Look at that. Dude's dropping some bars. Dude's dropping some bars. Or some studs. Dude's dropping some studs. My voice is losing it, so I'm gonna check out and go watch. I'm gonna go watch Lightbreak's video. I think it's gonna be awesome to watch his video, see what his thoughts are on the latest and greatest news. But thank you, everyone. I seriously mean it. This may have been a record stream. I think we capped out at 41 people, which is awesome. Love seeing that. 350 views so far. How great is that? I'll be considering doing these in the future if there's fair information to share. You know, I'm not gonna just go straight up leak mode on you all, but I do want to give speculation, give my thoughts. I felt like I had something to add to this discourse, so I thought it was reasonable and fair. And then, of course, obviously, thank you to our patrons. Patrons meaning our members, Clever Pig being one of our members, and I think who gave the super chat? Someone has to remind me on who gave the super chat. I don't want to say it wrong. I think he dipped already. It wasn't Papa. What? No, it was Liam. Liam. I knew it was a channel member. Liam Break the Bed with the super chat. Appreciate that as well. Thank you, everyone. I hope you all have a great night. Go check out Tyler's video because I know you haven't already. Not while this live stream has been going on, but I appreciate all of you. The plan is to have another stream next week, going 2 weeks in a row. Hoping to drop a short this week. I hope. We'll see. I'm recovering from the past 2 weeks, dropping 3 shorts in 1 week. Kind of did a little damage. I think I lost some brain cells in the process, but regardless, have a great night, everyone, and we will see you. I will see you, hopefully, next week.